You ever walk up to your front window, coffee in hand, expecting to see the usual quiet street, and instead find yourself staring at a 4-foot-tall wall of snow blocking your entire driveway? Not a drift, not a plow pile. An intentional, perfectly sculpted barricade of frozen spite. I just stood there, mug halfway to my lips, trying to decide if I was still dreaming or if Karen Everett had finally lost her mind. It had her name all over it. Brenda Level Petty, HOA President Certified Nonsense. Karen, Queen of Conformity, woman who once cited my neighbor for having a non-neutral porch cushion, had clearly decided it was time to reassert her winter dominance. And what better way than turning my driveway into a snow prison? Topped off with a little snowman, staring straight at me like it knew exactly what it was doing. I didn't even finish my coffee. I pulled on my boots, grabbed my coat, and stomped out there to inspect the thing. It wasn't just snow, it was engineered. Smooth edges, tight pack, topped like some architectural insult with a crooked carrot nose. And from her porch, there she was. Karen, wrapped in a pink robe, sipping tea like some suburban ice queen overseeing her territory. I said, "Morning, Karen. New landscaping?" She looked down at me with that fake, pleasant smile and said, "Just maintaining clear access for the community plow. As per HOA guidelines, of course. Now listen, I know HOA rules. I know them better than I want to, thanks to this woman. And nowhere in there does it say you can shovel your problems into someone else's driveway." But Karen's a master of using rules like a weapon. She called it spillover. I called it a siege. I went back inside, not defeated, but inspired. See, Karen loves rules. Bureaucracy is her playground. So I figured, why not beat her at her own game? I picked up the phone, called the city's public works department, and, with my best citizen concern voice, I reported a serious safety hazard. A fire hydrant, completely blocked by snow. Totally inaccessible. A threat to emergency response. And, oh, did they know the mayor might be touring snow routes today? Wouldn't want bad press, right? Less than 30 minutes later, I heard it. Rumbling engines, scraping steel, flashing lights. 3 giant city snowplows came down the street in formation like they were invading Normandy. Karen appeared back on her porch just in time to watch the lead plow smash through her precious snow wall like it owed it money. I swear, the little snowman flew 15 feet through the air. The plows didn't just clear my driveway, they swept the entire block, and with each pass, they accidentally redirected a nice, fluffy ridge of snow right along the edge of Karen's spotless curb. Not blocking it, just decorating. I watched from my window with a cup of fresh coffee, and the kind of grin you only get when karma shows up early. Sarah, my wife, stood next to me laughing so hard she nearly spilled her cup. Gary, the lead driver, bless his salty heart, leaned out and shouted, "Hydrant's all clear, sir," and gave me a wink. I felt like I'd just won the suburban Super Bowl. Karen? She was fuming. She stormed across the street in her slippers, screaming that I'd abused city resources and that this was anarchy. I just shrugged and said, "I reported a public safety hazard." The city agreed. Her jaw clenched so hard, I thought she might crack a crown. 3 days of silence. Then, the envelope, cream-colored, heavy cardstock, the kind of envelope that reeks of passive-aggressive intent. Inside, emergency HOA meeting. Topic: unauthorized snow redistribution and improper use of municipal services. By resident Michael Grant. That's me. I could have laughed, but instead, I knocked on doors. Turns out I wasn't the only one tired of Karen. Mr. Jenkins down the street got fined for wind chimes. Maria across the way. Her kid's sidewalk chalk was labeled unauthorized public art. Even old Mrs. Green got a violation for her aggressively colored flower pots. So when the meeting happened, it wasn't the usual 5 people and a stale cookie tray. The place was packed. Karen launched into a dramatic PowerPoint. Photos of snowplows, blurry shots of my driveway like she was building a criminal case. Then I stood up and said one line. That wall of snow blocked my driveway and a hydrant. I reported it. The city responded. Before she could counter, Mr. Jenkins raised his hand. Let's talk about wind chimes, Karen. Then Maria stood up. Let's talk about chalk. One by one, the neighborhood pushed back. The board members looked like they wanted to melt into the floor. But the best part, the next morning, a landscaping truck pulled up in front of my house. Guy gets out with a clipboard and says, Got a work order from a Karen Everett. Says you requested a consultation for snow berm construction? I blinked. She had tried to get a contractor to document my supposed violations, but the way she'd worded it, she basically hired him to help me build better snow structures. Paid in full. So, of course, I invited him in. We stood in my driveway discussing decorative berms, snow moats with LED lighting, and even proposed an ice gargoyle or two for intimidation factor. Karen watched the whole thing from behind her curtains, getting more and more twitchy by the second. Eventually, she exploded. Came charging across the street, pink robe flapping, screeching that this was not what she paid for. The contractor just held up the signed work order and said, Ma'am, this is what you hired me for. Snow berm consultation. That's what we're doing. I nearly lost it. Karen made a few more strangled noises, then stormed back inside and slammed her door so hard, her wind chimes, non-regulation by the way, rattled like an alarm. After that, she went quiet. The HOA quietly updated a few of its more interpretive rules. The no whimsy clause mysteriously disappeared. Karen still walks the neighborhood, but not quite as smug. And me? I got a Christmas card from Gary the plow driver. It said, Stay frosty. Still on my fridge. So, was I right? Was I petty? Or just playing by the rules better than she did? Let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Tell me your HOA horror story. Or just weigh in. Was justice served cold enough?